today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in. Happy Friday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert here, and Rico is there. What's up, Rico?
Hello.
How's the day?
It's great. It's the last day for us of working in 2023.
There you go. Thank you for the last part.
Nope, just it.
Just
That's
working.
It. We're done. We're done after this. That's it.
I don't know. People might celebrate that.
People wouldn't celebrate that. Look, Nick. I mean, we're done for the rest of the year.
All right. Well,
like we're done working for the rest of the year.
Can I just say
I won't see you guys until next year. It's gonna be crazy.
We have to catch up on a lot of segments here.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not a lot, but a couple. Enough.
A couple.
We will have to do some shorter segments.
This will be one of them.
Yes.
This will be one of the shorter segments. I just want to say, and this is a plea, if you are a person that says, see you next year on a day like this,
please do it.
Please do not.
Please do it. Please continue. Continue the joke.
Because Rico is one of those people.
No, I'm not. I love it because it bothers so many people.
It does.
It doesn't bother me at all. And if you say, hey, see you next year, I'm like, all right, man, it's going to be a while. Like, I'll answer. Like, I'll play along with it.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me any. But
No,
I know
good.
how many people that it just eats them inside when somebody goes, oh, man, I'm not going to shower for a whole year.
I'm not showering until next year.
Exactly. Like,
anyway,
it's crazy.
402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support of the show, as always. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. In the 1 o'clock hour, I definitely want to get to the ceiling and floor for Nebraska basketball, right? What is, and maybe we'll have to drag Austin into this.
No, we will.
Because Austin will be able to provide a unique side and thoughts from his mind. But like, I'm curious on Nebraska basketball's ceiling and floor. So like, best case scenario, realistically, where can Nebraska go? Worst case scenario, what could the situation be? And I think what we'll find out is the worst case scenario conversation is going to look very similar to maybe in years past. So that ceiling conversation will be different because I think I have a different opinion on what what Nebraska basketball ceiling is other than Austin. I know I do for a fact because we talked about it a couple days ago when Rico was out of the office. So we're going to talk that. Got plenty of bowl games to preview as New Year's 6 bowl games are going to be in full swing starting tonight with the Cotton Bowl, Missouri against Ohio State.
We have bowl games to recap.
We have bowl games to recap from yesterday.
My new favorite bowl game of all time.
The Alamo Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl.
That one.
The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. And then also just kind of an update on the rest of the world. The Pistons last night.
I thought they were going to do it.
I mean, we talked about it 2 days ago. Yesterday.
We talked about it yesterday.
We talked about it yesterday about how the Pistons had an opportunity to snap a long losing streak.
27 at the time.
They were up 66-47 at the half.
This was a game that we said they're not winning. Like, we're like, it's going to get to 28, and then we'll see.
No. Strick said on the crossover, he's like, the Celtics are the team for them to get. Like, the Celtics or the Trailblazers here. And so they're going to have the Trailblazers coming up. Trailblazers are 8-22 this season. But we were talking about they're like the Celtics are down. They're on a little bit of a slide. We're going to be able to get it to where that maybe they can snap it tonight against the Celtics. They were up 66-47, and they still were unable to snap it. They go to overtime against the Celtics, and the Boston Celtics outscore them 20-14 in overtime, and they win by 6, 128-122.
Couldn't get it done. And Cade Cunningham after the game was just like, I've adopted a Zen-like approach of not really feeling anything, win or lose or anything. And I'm sitting here like, no.
Yeah.
That's not, I get it because you've lost 28 straight.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to just be like, I'm not going to let this get to me.
Just
I'm not
carrying as much.
I'm not going to break down with every loss because we're at 28 in a row. But at the same time, like, you need to show some more emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not great.
Granted, he's pouring in like 30 and 40 points a game, and they're still not getting it done. Maybe what Cade Cunningham needs to do is score less and set up his teammates more.
So Cade Cunningham,
I actually don't know his averages for this streak or what he's even doing this season.
Cade Cunningham this season, 23.5 per game. He's shooting 35% from 3. He's averaging 8 assists per game. And he's averaging 4 rebounds per game.
That's actually pretty good.
That's a pretty good
Those are
stat
pretty
line.
good stats. I don't know what else he could do. You get it up to 12 assists a game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it. That's all I can. I don't know. He's doing everything that he can, and the Pistons are just bad. They're just bad. And now they're not even considering trading Bogdanovich. At first, he was on the trade block, and now the Pistons are like, nope, not doing it.
He has not scored fewer than 22 points in their last 5 games. These are the stats for Cade Cunningham, their last 5 games.
All right, hit me.
In a loss against the Hawks, he dropped 43. In a loss against Utah, he dropped 28. Mm-hmm. In a loss against Brooklyn, he dropped 22.
You don't have to say in a loss. They're all losses.
Thank you. Against Brooklyn again, he dropped 41. And last night, he dropped 31.
Brooklyn's not good either. So you're dropping 41 and still losing.
I mean,
and that's Cade's their best player. So
you've
got your best player going off, and it's still not enough. There is a chance that they finish with the worst record ever in the NBA, which is the Charlotte Bobcats, who had 7 wins in a season. It was a strike-shortened season, but still 7 wins in a season. And there's a chance that in a regular length season, that the Detroit Pistons don't get to 7 wins because they're losing to bad teams also. Like who would you take?
Cade Cunningham shot 9 of 13 last night in the first half.
Perfect. That's obviously not perfect, but that's exactly what you want. 9 of 13. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that any day.
Oh my goodness. They tied the NBA's longest losing streak in history after last night's loss.
And that was the tanking 76ers over the course of at the end of one season and then the beginning of another season that they got to 28. So
I'm just trying to find...
That's bad that you lose 28 in a single season.
I'm trying to find Cade Cunningham's game log here. Okay. So
here
we go.
Should we go to a break and then come back with this game log?
Yes.
Yeah, because we need to
catch up breaks.
All right, so we'll be right back.
Jeez.
On the happy hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402 560-6197.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Don't forget to stop by the Rail Yard Rink, now open in downtown Lincoln. The Rail Yard Rink is proudly presented by the Lincoln Stars and is in operation until mid-February. You're bound to make great winter memories ice skating in the heart of the capital city. Lincoln Stars players will be making appearances at the Rail Yard Rink throughout the winter months to meet and greet with fans. For a full schedule of the Rail Yard Rink, please visit lincolnstars.com and click on the Rail Yard Rink drop-down option on the Community tab.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale, sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends, right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
A gorilla bear versus polar bear.
A what bear versus a what bear?
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
A gorilla bear versus a polar bear. Polar bear.
One more time.
Gorilla versus a polar bear.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket is the place to be, 6 a.m. to at least 8 p.m. It'll be even later going forward here as high school basketball gets into full swing, start of January. Make sure you hang out, check out the Amon Green Show, 6 to 7. The DeMornay Pearsonell Show, 7 to 8.
The Don't Punt Hour.
Don't Punt Hour, yep. With DeMornay Pearsonell. He had Kyron Williams on the other night. Not sure if anybody saw that. But anyway, back to NBA action. By the way, 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys. So we were looking at the Detroit Pistons here.
Very bad.
With Cade Cunningham specifically, right?
Former Oklahoma State star.
Picked number 1 overall in the 2021 draft.
Mm-hmm.
So Cade Cunningham, he has not been the issue. There has been one game where he's scored fewer than, let's see. 2 games where he has scored fewer than 10 points.
Well, As people tell me about my favorite player, it's not all about scoring.
It's not. But when you look at assists and you look at rebounds, his numbers are good as well.
Well, it's not all about numbers, Nick.
There is only one game in the month of December. There's only been one game where he's had fewer than 6 assists.
Look, man, the only number that matters is the number in the win column.
Exactly. And there's only 2 there for the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham, I mean, you look
Did
at
you know at one point the Pistons were 2-1?
They were.
Man.
With wins over the Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls.
What a great day that was.
They thought they had something. Cade Cunningham, by the way, had
28 straight losses after that.
Had 22 points in the first half yesterday against the Celtics.
You sign up for that every day.
Every day.
You got your star player scoring 22 in the first half? Yes.
Anyway, somebody asked, how is the former Purdue superstar doing on the Pistons?
Jaden Ivey?
Jaden Ivey, that is.
I wanted him on the Knicks.
He tore Nebraska apart.
He wanted to be a Knick.
Jaden Ivey is currently averaging 13 points per game. He was picked 5th overall in the 2022 draft. He's averaging 13 a game, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. He dropped 22 last night in the overtime loss to the Boston Celtics.
How much did they lose by?
6.
Should have scored 28.
Should have scored just 29.
29.
That's all we needed for a win.
I wanted 2 overtimes.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have any confidence in Detroit being able to win
at all
in a second overtime.
0 confidence at all.
But so Detroit Pistons schedule, just to remind you, this is going to be kind of a daily story up until they win. So this might actually continue through March.
Tell us if you guys want a daily
Detroit Pistons update.
Yeah, not daily, but
it won't be in depth like this.
A game-to-game Detroit Pistons update. Just if they win a game and how their star player, how Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey did, or if they lose the game.
Like we can not become the Detroit Pistons hub, but like we can give an update.
Look, we'll let you know.
We're not going in depth.
No, not at all. We'll say, hey, just ask us, did the Pistons win or did the Pistons lose?
So now,
whenever you ask us that, we'll let you know. We'll let you know what the score was, and we'll let you know what Cade and Jaden did, and then we'll move on.
So now they'll face the Pistons. The Pistons are they will play tomorrow, 5 p.m. against the Toronto Raptors. Raptors 12-18 on the season.
Okay. Where's it?
There's a chance.
At Detroit?
In Detroit.
In Detroit. Okay.
I doubt Detroit is the favorite.
Will Drake be there?
Probably not.
Probably not.
So then they go to the Rockets, to the Jazz, to the Warriors, to the Nuggets.
The Warriors suck.
Not as bad as the Pistons.
No. Well, nobody does.
No, nobody's as bad as the Pistons.
They should get a win in there.
Okay.
Then again, there's 28 straight games where they probably should have gotten.
Do they win tomorrow against the Raptors?
Hosting the Raptors? No. Their best bet is it at the Jazz?
It's at Jazz.
That's their best bet, and they have to go on the road. That's their best bet because the Jazz are also cheeks. Like it's not great.
Yeah, I like Lauri Markkanen though.
Everybody does.
Yeah,
but he didn't do any basketball this offseason.
Nope. Trained for the military.
Yep.
Anyway,
he's Finnish.
Finley.
Yeah. He was in the Finnish army.
Anyway,
all offseason.
There you go.
Cut his hair and everything.
Anyway, Nebraska.
That's your NBA update.
We got plenty of stuff to get to. Yeah, the Pistons, by the way, 2-28 overall. We'll give you updates as we go along. It might be a pretty fun game. It will be a fun bit up until they
win, and then that's it. And
then
the bit dies.
It's kind of dead.
Like the Pop-Tarts mascot.
We need it to be 28 victories. Yeah, Rico loves the Pop-Tarts mascot. We're going to talk all about
Pop-Tarts mascot.
We're going to talk all about bowl games. We're going to talk about plenty of Nebraska basketball as South Carolina State comes to town tonight. South Carolina State 4-10 on the season. We're going to talk all things Husker hoops, the ceiling, the floor. What's the outlook for Nebraska men's basketball going forward here? And we'll also tie in some bowl games and some college football coverage, maybe a little bit of Cleveland Browns discussion as Joe Flacco is only, I think is only 79 yards away potentially from passing Johnny Manziel on the all-time passing yards list in Cleveland Browns history.
Look at Joe Cool.
So Joe Flacco is about to pass some Cleveland Brown royalty.
You know what it's going to end up?
Yards.
You know how this is going to end up, right?
How's that?
The Browns are going to play the Ravens. And Joe Flacco is going to eliminate the Ravens from the playoffs.
Joe Flacco revenge game.
He's still elite, baby.
There it is. All right, let's take a break. 1 o'clock hour coming up here in just a few moments with a lot of Husker basketball talk. We'll kick off the hour talking Fred Hoiberg's squad coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Happy holidays from Hamilton. As we celebrate the joy of this holiday season, we are grateful for our loyal customers, the communities we serve, and our outstanding employees. Hamilton takes great pride in connecting and protecting your business with the latest in telecommunications and technology solutions. From our Hamilton family to yours, we wish you a merry and bright holiday season and prosperous new year. Happy holidays from all of us here at Hamilton.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador, online at prg-ne.com.
Don't forget to stop by the Rail Yard Rink, now open in downtown Lincoln. The Rail Yard Rink is proudly presented by the Lincoln Stars and is in operation until mid-February. You're bound to make great winter memories ice skating in the heart of the capital city. Lincoln Stars players will be making appearances at the Rail Yard Rink throughout the winter months to meet and greet with fans. For a full schedule of the Rail Yard Rink, please visit lincolnstars.com and click on the Rail Yard Rink drop-down option on the Community tab.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today will see a return of mainly sunny skies, maybe a little breezy at times with northwesterly wind, but we'll see an afternoon high of around 38. Tonight, mainly clear skies with an overnight low around 24. And tomorrow, more sunshine on the way. A little warmer, too. We'll see a high around 41. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. 1 o'clock hour here, 93.7 The Ticket. It's the happy hour. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support, as always. It is Good Sense Friday as well. Huge thanks to Jeff Barclay, Scott Ritter, and the entire Pillar Restaurant Group for the Good Sense Fridays. I'm telling you, man, I don't know if I could find a better sub sandwich out there.
I had Good Sense a couple days ago for supper.
Really?
Yeah, me and Rich were just sitting at home. We got the kids something, and we were like, what do we want? And she was like, a sandwich sounds good. And I was like, a sandwich does sound good. I was like, where do you want to go? She's like, Good Sense.
You got to go to
and
Good
I was
Sense.
like, well, of course.
You got to go to Good Sense. They have 5 locations in Lincoln. Pillar Restaurant Group, obviously the venue, the bistro. There's a lot of places that's under that Pillar Restaurant Group umbrella. It made a great Christmas gift as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you just get a gift card to the Pillar Restaurant Group, and they are good for all those restaurants.
A lot of places to go.
So yeah, huge thanks to the Pillar Restaurant Group for Good Sense Friday, providing our staff with lunches as always. I get a little bit of ham and turkey on some white bread, lettuce, onion, jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, mayonnaise.
Loaded it up.
Absolutely delicious.
Loaded up.
Yeah. Speaking of mayonnaise, how about the mayo bowl?
Before we get to that, I want to shout out this random person on the text line who they don't have a name, but they said, shout out to Rico for making awkward eye contact with me in the Barbie aisle at Target on Wednesday.
Oh, you were in the Barbie aisle.
Yeah, I was doing some birthday shopping for one of Ellie's friends.
Not for Ellie.
Not for Ellie. Ellie has enough Barbies.
Okay.
But I did say hi to me next time and offer to buy a Barbie for my daughter.
There you go. Perfect.
We'll see what happens.
Nonetheless, let's dive into Husker hoops here, because Nebraska basketball gets their season back up and running today against South Carolina State. The Bulldogs are 4-10 going into tonight's game against the Huskers. The Huskers, obviously, with that 10-2 mark here in 2023. This is kind of the last ease yourself into, get ready to go. It's a good thing. Like, we've talked about the advantages for the schedule to this point, right? We've talked about the advantages of the schedule to this point, where it's like you're starting out with Rider, you're starting out with teams like Lindenwood, Stony Brook, those kind of not cakewalk necessarily, but it allows you to ease and kind of glide into the season, right?
The bye games.
Get guys healthy, get guys fully healthy. Maybe you don't have to run all of your formations, all of your sets against those teams. It just allows you to kind of warm up, get ready for the rest of the year before you had to play Creighton and Minnesota and Kansas State, which obviously you lost 2 of those.
Yeah. It lets you set up, it lets you look at who you want to have play together, your lineups, how you're gonna start games, what lineups work in certain situations. If you want to mess with a big lineup, you put that in. You want to mess with a small lineup, you put that in. These are ways that you can see which guys work really well together and which guys maybe you'll have to sub somebody out and bring a certain person in certain situations. And also, it's a good way to get a look at maybe some of the not like super young guys that you might want to redshirt, but some of the younger guys who might be on the end of your bench or close to the end of your bench who might get in during blowouts or when either you're blowing somebody out or you're getting blown out, or in situations where you have foul trouble, where you're going to have to bring somebody else in.
That's what I was exactly going to say. Excuse me. Was that the games against Fullerton and even Oregon State when you won 84-63, when you win 84-63 against Stony Brook, that's kind of convenient. You had back-to-back games where you won 84-63.
I didn't even notice that.
And that's very rare, by the way.
Interesting. What does it mean?
What's Strick say? Anyway,
shout out to Strick.
Yeah, shout out to Strick. Obviously, Lindenwood, Florida A&M, those types of games, even the North Dakota one that you were able to kind of bounce back at. What it allowed you? What were you able to do in those games? Well, you were able to get Matar into the game for a little bit. Matar Jop. You were able to get Eli Rice some playing time,
a guy who you feel really good about.
You figured out, I think, a little more of a Sam Hoiberg role as well, because last year he was kind of this energizer, and he can still be that this season. Can Sam Hoiberg be? But it was the view last year was like, this is a walk-on. It's the coach's son. He comes in, he provides a spark defensively, and he's not going to ever give less than 100% effort. This year, it's like, okay, there's ways that he can find a role offensively, obviously doing the same thing defensively. He's gotten much stronger. If you just see him in person, he's gotten so much stronger than just he was even a year ago and last season. So they figured out roles for guys. Jawan Gary's fully healthy. We've seen that. Jamarcus Lawrence is starting to evolve as the number one guard, if you will. But like tonight's game, it's a good thing that Nebraska doesn't have to come off of this hiatus, if you will, this short-term hiatus, because of the Christmas and holiday season.
People coming back into town
against Indiana or against Wisconsin on the road. It's you get one more kind of a get back into the groove kind of thing game. Yes, you are 12 games into the season, but you haven't played since December 20th. And it was not a pretty game against North Dakota, but you figured out a way to get the job done. But you're able to get back and go to us against the South Carolina State. But then you know that as soon as that clock hits zero, all right, conference season's upon you.
You're in it. And you're not starting off with, it's the Big Ten, so it's not really any easy conference games. But your first three, I mean, you're starting off in the wood chipper right now with Indiana, Wisconsin, and Purdue, two ranked teams and a team that maybe should be ranked. I think they're sitting at 9-2 or something like that. Like Indiana is a really good team as well. So you're not going to ease into things on the conference side of things either. You're getting right into the fire. So this South Carolina State game, coming off of your holiday break and having guys out of town, coming back, getting back into the groove of things, as you said, and getting back on the court and getting familiar with each other once again after a 9-day layoff, is extremely important, and it helps even more with a team that, not to throw any shade, but South Carolina State's not anybody to write home about.
Well, I think when you also look at just Nebraska's season, right, there's a couple disappointments, and those are certainly the fashion that you lost to Creighton is a 29-point loss. And then obviously the one that you followed up with against Minnesota on the road when you had a 15-point lead or whatever it was at half and you end up losing by 11. That's impressive to do.
Yes.
I mean, you were up by double digits and you lose by double digits. You get outscored by 20 plus in the second half. It was disappointing. But then this is something that you can kind of hang your hat on if you're Nebraska, is that you've been able to bounce back quite often, whether that's in the larger scope of like game to game or whether that's inside the actual 40 minutes of game time. And if you need an example there, look at the North Dakota game. For Nebraska, they were down by double digits to North Dakota. And this, don't get this mixed up with the North Dakota State team that dominated the one team by like 80 some points. That's not this team. This is North Dakota, not North Dakota State.
That was also not a real team.
It was not a real team also.
I don't know who that was.
It was like a Bishop Sycamore type of deal. It wasn't really, but
it's a real college, but it's like,
it felt like it.
I don't know what that was.
But nonetheless, you look at like North Dakota, right? And they were similar to probably the South Carolina State type of team. They're similar to the Stony Brooks or the Riders.
You were down by double digits. This is also a North Dakota team that came into Lincoln a couple of years ago and beat you at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And they come in, start shooting the lights out, and you're down by double digits for a majority of the first half. You go into halftime down double digits, and you start the second half down by, I think, as many as like 15 or 17 at one point, if I remember correctly. Well, what's the answer? All right, you guys are balanced as a roster. You have more talent than North Dakota had. And so CJ Wilcher steps up. Jawan Gary does his part. Josiah Alex, same situation. You had 6 guys in double figures on that game against North Dakota. That ended up resulting in an 83-75 Nebraska win. And throughout the entire season, in addition to all of that, what's been an incredible improvement for Husker hoops? Free throw shooting.
I was going to say rebounding, but
rebounding too. But free throw shooting. Think about how many in years past, not even just, this is not a Fred Hoiberg program issue. This has been a Nebraska bugaboo.
Yeah, we went through years. We went through it where guys shoot free throws well wherever they're at.
Not good.
And then they come to Nebraska, they throw on the jersey, they play in PBA or in Devaney, and for whatever reason, the free throws refuse to fall.
But Nebraska has been able now to put away games via the free throw line. They've been able to get back into games. They've been able to stop opponents' runs.
I mean, I just remember
drawing fouls
last year when you're up, you're leading by, I don't know, like 5 points or something like that towards the end of a game, and you're like, I need this lead to grow from just shot making, because if they start fouling and if Nebraska has to go to the free throw line, there's no way they finish this game out because of how many front ends of 1-on-1s they would miss. And you miss the front end of a 1-on-1. Obviously, you're not getting the second shot. The team goes down, scores, they foul you again, you miss it again. So you had zero confidence in Nebraska at the free throw line. Whereas this season, it's still not like an amazing percentage, I don't believe, but it's something that you feel confident in.
As a team, Nebraska is shooting 75% from the line.
Okay, that's great. You take that.
As a team, Nebraska is shooting 75% from the line. Last year, as a team, 63%.
That hurts.
The year before, 70%. The year before that, which was 2020, 2021, 62% from the free throw line. In 2019, Nebraska was 60% from the free throw line. If Nebraska can make 3 out of every four free throws, you feel pretty good about your chances in close games. And Nebraska's going to find themselves. They're going to have to be a team that can win close games. You're not going to be able to defeat Indiana or the Purdue's, not the Purdue's, the Wisconsins and the Iowas and the Northwesterns when they face you at your home floor. You're not going to be able to boat race them. The 20-point victories against Iowa that they experienced last year come few and far between, and that's okay. That just means that there's a lot of pretty good basketball programs in the conference that you play in. So what's the difference maker? Turnovers, rebounding, and free throws. And so far, Nebraska has done well in those 3 departments. The free throws especially, and the rebounds. They need to get ring mass healthy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's another part of what's been so impressive with their last 2-3 games is that they're doing it without, I think it was just 2. They're doing it without ring mass. And you've seen with him transferring in and through these first 12 games.
Just one. Tonight will be the second game.
The second one. Okay, so, through 2 games. Hopefully, we'll see what happens tonight. It shouldn't really matter, but whatever. Just not having him and how important he's been to this program since he's transferred in, not only with his ability to score the ball, but his ability to rebound has just been a game changer for Nebraska. Because, yes, he's not the same as a Derek Walker who would run the offense from the free throw line, from the fingernail, as Nick likes to call it. He's not, Rink Mass isn't going to do that, although he was showing an ability to do that. But his ability to rebound has been a game changer for Nebraska. And having somebody like Josiah Alec, who is kind of an Energizer bunny in his own right, going after rebounds and just hustling after the ball all of the time, Nebraska's ability to get the ball after a team misses and not give up, so many offensive rebounds like they were seasons before, is another big reason why they're able to win these close games. Because you'd see at the end of game, how many, I want to say it was the Purdue game at home last year. Was that the one that was close?
You're right.
Where
K-State hit the big 3 at the end.
They ended up going to overtime and Nebraska lost.
And there was a point where they gave up like 3 offensive rebounds in one possession.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not happening this year. Nebraska's doing a really good job of not only boxing out, but actually grabbing the rebound. I mean, last year you had guys boxing out, but the ball still somehow finds the hands of the opposing team. This year, Nebraska's able to get those rebounds and get out in transition and get into their offensive sets or score in transition. And it's a very welcome sight.
So in that game last year against the Boilermakers, you remember, so that game against Purdue, it was back on December 10th of 2022. Number 3 Purdue came into Lincoln. Nebraska was 6-5, or 6-4, excuse me. Prior to this, Purdue was 9-0 coming into Lincoln. Purdue led at the half, 34-24. Nebraska then outscored Purdue in the second half, 32-22. But then Nebraska lost 65-62 when it was all said and done in overtime. You'll remember that for the most part in that game, although the stat line doesn't show it, Derek Walker did an incredible job on Zach Edey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, Zach Edey still had double-digit rebounds in that game, but he only had 11 points. And that was the big part. Derek Walker did an exceptional job defensively on Zach Edey, where also Keisei Tominaga added 19 points. You had Derek Walker and Emmanuel Bandamel add 14. Sam Griesel had 8 assists in that game. There was a lot of factors in it. I'm looking just at the stats from previous years, right? And just trying to find differences. And you look at, like, now granted, we're only 12 games into the season here in 2023,
mm-hmm.
but you have 4 players averaging double figures. You have Rink Mass, who is averaging 13.5 points and 9.9 rebounds per game. So essentially a double-double. And he's also leading your team in assists per game with 3, which doesn't feel like a lot, but you have a lot of guys with 2.3 assists per game, a lot of guys with 2.9 assists per game, 2.2 assists per game.
People are sharing the love.
They're sharing the rock, right? So then you look at like previous years, and just for grins and giggles here, you look at a season like 2021, where you had Bryce McGowens and Alonzo Verge feel like they had to do everything for this roster. And Bryce had averaged 17, had a good year, but Alonzo averaged 14. Well, the next closest was Derek Walker with 8, CJ Wilcher with 7, Trey McGowens with 5. So when you look at the differences from just this year to previous seasons, it's hard not to get excited about what this Big Ten slate could look like and the opportunity that's in front of Nebraska basketball. Why? Because now going against Indiana, it's not they only have to plan for Teddy Allen. It's not they only have to plan for
Bryce McGowens.
It's, oh man, we got to worry about Juwan Gary, whether or not he comes off the bench, whether he starts. We got to worry about CJ Wilcher coming off the bench, a guy who's averaging 7 points per game off the bench in 17 minutes of game time per night. You have to worry about Rink Mass, who's essentially a double-double every time he steps on the floor, and Bryce Williams, who's an experienced guard from Charlotte. Oh, and what about the preseason All Big Ten selection? Keisei Tominaga. We got to worry about him. There's so many different factors that opponents have to plan for now that it provides opportunities in a good way for Nebraska.
And also, even though he's not having the year that maybe people were expecting from him, these Big Ten teams know, because they saw it last year, Jamarcus Lawrence, what he can offer.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where Nebraska's offense is insanely balanced. And I know that we talked about it before in the beginning of the season and about, partway through these first few games, who are they going to go to in crunch time when it gets into a close game and they need a bucket? Well, it looks as if Juwan Gary and maybe Rink Mass might be those 2 guys where you have 2 options in the clutch, in the go-to, where you have 2 guys who you can dish the rock off to and say, look, we need a play. We're going to need you to make that play. And both of them, you have a decent amount of confidence in them being able to do that. So again, spreading the love, everybody's passing the rock, sharing the rock. Everybody can score in their own right. And you also have 2 go-to guys when it gets down into the nitty-gritty time. And again, the free throws. It's something where, somebody gets fouled. You're obviously there are people who are better free throw shooters than others, but as a team, you feel pretty good about whoever goes to the line.
This is also what the improvement for certain guys from last year to this year, right? And one of those guys I look at is CJ Wilcher. CJ had a tough year last year. There's just no way of sugarcoating it, right? This year, here he is going 17 minutes a game off the bench in most capacities, averaging 7 points, averaging 3 rebounds, and about 1.5 assists per game, right? Doesn't average many turnovers. He averages half of a turnover per game. And he's shooting 46% from the field. Shooting 46% from the field. And also 84% from the free throw line. He is fourth on the team in free throw percentage. That's a guy that you're okay having come off the bench. And so I just think we have to kind of separate maybe the CJ Wilcher or some of the performances maybe we saw last year and say, okay, look at this under a new lens, under a new microscope, and say, all right, here we are about CJ Wilcher specifically, a guy that comes off the bench, doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to come off the bench and prove that he should be starting. He's comfortable in his role. Fred Hoiberg's found a role for him as well. Sean says this on the text line, 402-464-5685. He says the fact that you can talk Nebraska basketball and not talk about Tominaga speaks volumes about this team. And that's true.
Yeah.
That shows, as cliche as it sounds, how deep they are, how many guys are available to play. I think when you look at Nebraska, we haven't also seen the best 2024 from Keisei Tominaga. Teams also know and are much more aware of Keisei Tominaga.
So it's going to be more difficult. Keisei breakout game.
Yeah. But there's a lot of season left.
Oh, yeah.
Big Ten Conference slate after tonight's game against South Carolina State will get into full swing here. So 6:30 p.m. Tip-off, South Carolina State, Nebraska versus the Bulldogs, 6:30 p.m. tip-off on Big Ten Plus. As I mentioned, and we've talked about it extensively before, there's going to be a lot of 8 p.m. tip-offs, especially the more Nebraska wins, the more they're going to flex those games to 8 p.m. rather than 6 p.m. Some of these are set in stone already, though, obviously. But you have a couple of the first ones, right? Nebraska's first 2 home conference games that are on weeknights are going to be at 8 p.m. So the 8 p.m. crowd for Nebraska, Indiana, the 8 p.m. crowd for Nebraska versus Purdue on a Tuesday, January 9th. There's going to be opportunities, and they're all going to be advertised. I hope you didn't delete or unsubscribe from your Peacock subscription. Because Nebraska versus number 1 Purdue is slated to be on Peacock. So make sure you don't forget that as the new year approaches, January. If you don't want to spend for the rest of December and go for January, or if they can prorate, whatever it is, make sure you get that Peacock subscription or just buy a ticket, come out to Pinnacle Bank Arena. But I'm sure the tickets are going to be a little more expensive for a pretty good Nebraska basketball team and then a really good Purdue Boilermakers squad.
And also, don't forget to tune in as soon as the game is over to 93.7 The Ticket.
Bingo.
As we have Austin Orman, Jake Bakoven, and Eric Strickland when he is available to bring you some post-game basketball coverage right here on The Ticket.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think when you look, we also got this text, is Blaze going to play this year?
I doubt it.
He says he would be a huge addition if so. I think there's not, I don't want to say that's hesitancy is not the right word. It's just the doubt that we might see Blaze Cade. I would not hold your breath.
No,
at least for the foreseeable future. We haven't heard any updates, and without any updates, it's never really a good sign, I think. So we'll just see what happens. That's why guys like Matar, are true freshmen, are gonna have to step up. If Rink Mass, Josiah Alec gets in foul trouble, there you go. It's gonna be Matar who needs to kind of fill in down low there. So how about this? Somebody says not going to pay to watch that bleep kicking. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We said that last year as well.
And the second time it was, but the first time it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, Fletcher Lawyer, who was a freshman last year, tore Nebraska apart.
Yes.
I think both games he played against Nebraska. So, once again, 6:30 p.m. tip-off tonight. What's this? We still, throughout that entire conversation, never talked about the ceiling or the floor, but we do need to get to break.
Yes.
So maybe we can talk about that. Expectations, realistic expectations. You let us know. 464-5685. What's the realistic ceiling? We all know the floor, right? Nebraska's lived on the floor for the last 12 years. of like no bye in the Big Ten tournament, no NCAA tournament. They lose in the first round to a lower seeded team. Whatever the case may be, that's been the floor for Nebraska basketball. What's the ceiling realistically for you guys as fans? What is the ceiling? What's the greatest achievement that Nebraska basketball could have this year? We'll talk about that and we'll assess it. I'll also read your text coming up next. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support all show long. It's the last show of 2023, and we're going to end it here in about a half an hour or so. You're listening to the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Don't forget to stop by the Rail Yard Rink, now open in downtown Lincoln. The Rail Yard Rink is proudly presented by the Lincoln Stars and is in operation until mid-February. You're bound to make great winter memories ice skating in the heart of the capital city. Lincoln Stars players will be making appearances at the Rail Yard Rink throughout the winter months to meet and greet with fans. For a full schedule of the Rail Yard Rink, please visit LincolnStars.com and click on the Rail Yard Rink drop-down option on the Community tab.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Become a member of the YMCA today and enjoy access to all 4 Lincoln locations. Free group fitness classes along with member pricing for the whole family on youth programs such as swimming, dance, and basketball. The YMCA even offers free health assessments to kickstart your workout. Start the new year off right as a member of the YMCA and enjoy no initiation fees through the end of the month. For a list of locations and to join, visit ymcalincoln.org. The YMCA, for a better us.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today will see a return of mainly sunny skies, maybe a little breezy at times with northwesterly wind, but we'll see an afternoon high of around 38. Tonight, mainly clear skies with an overnight low around 24. And tomorrow, more sunshine on the way, a little warmer too. We'll see a high around 41. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Look at me. This plane is going to Jamaica.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Rico, and now Austin joins us just a segment early.
I can just be here and not be involved if you guys want your show back.
No, you're fine, man. I'm happy to have you. We're happy to have you.
Appreciate that.
Nonetheless, it actually works out really well because we just had a full conversation on Husker basketball without actually answering the question we posed to Husker fans at the start
I
of
was
the
telling
segment.
Matt, I was like, we were talking about the ceiling and the floor, and then we never talked about the ceiling and the floor.
We never actually said it. So we're going to focus more on the ceiling side of it, right? The top of potential and realistic expectation for Nebraska basketball. Excuse me. Because I think it varies, obviously, from fan to fan. It'll obviously vary from like me to you also.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I have had conversations about that. And I want to make this conversation as realistic as possible. So like, understanding where Nebraska's been at as a program and saying, ceiling is round of 32 is not realistic. Right. And so if that happens, we're going to be all up in arms and we're going to be freaking out and we're going to be partying it up. Now, with all that being said, I don't think making the NCAA tournament is out of the realm of possibility. I also don't know how realistic it is, though. So that's where I'm going to say if Nebraska is able to be in a 2-day bye for the Big Ten tournament, that's ceiling. Because the 2-day bye also gives you that NCAA tournament berth.
I was going to say, wouldn't that give you the NCAA berth?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say like all those things together is the ceiling for this team.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would ask fans this question. Would you rather go to the NCAA tournament and lose or go to the NIT and win a couple games?
Man,
which makes you feel better. Because here's the thing. It's the NCAA tournament. You want to make it there. I get it. But if Nebraska makes the NCAA tournament, it would be an upset for them to win their first game. It would look something like the 6-11 matchup against Baylor. It would be a 5-12 and yet be
10-7 maybe
last
at the
four
best.
in sort of thing. Yeah, 7-10. Unless things really go well and you're in that 8-9 game, which is a coin flip. So I don't know. I mean, it's conceivable that Nebraska makes the NCAA tournament. I don't know if I would put my money on that right now, but I think they're a pretty safe NIT team right now with plenty of opportunities to play themselves higher.
Okay, so Austin, what are they missing? What are they missing in your eyes to take them from this? All right, yeah, pretty sure NIT potential type of team to where, yeah, they're a team that can make the March Madness, the big dance.
The things that stand out to me are a lack of consistent elite 3-point shooting. Like they're better than they have been. Don't get it twisted, but they're still only shooting 33%. This is a team that I don't think is so dominant inside that they can get away with shooting just 33%. I think that's got to tick up to at least 36% and preferably 37, 38. The other thing they're missing is a rim protector. They don't have any rim protectors.
Yeah.
So I think if they had that stalwart at the rim, that'd be nice. But as much as we talk about how solid Nebraska is defensively, they're not elite. They're just not like Sam Hoiberg.
Edge yet,
right? Sam Hoiberg is a good defender, but we've seen him get burned a few times. DeMarcus Lawrence, I think, should be a little more active and disruptive than he is. Bryce Williams, good positionally, not locked down. Juwan Gary has his moments, but his focus comes and goes. So I still don't fully trust this team defensively, but if they shot it at 37, 38% and they had a guy that would deter opponents at the rim, I think that's the recipe. Right now, Nebraska's just generally solid across the board, but they don't have that separating characteristic.
I was going to ask you, even on their best days defensively, if there was any way that might sway you from being, again, not elite 3-point, but just like you said, 37% from the 3-point line.
And 37, 30.
Would that help you like kind of make that switch? Because in my mind, even on their best days defensively, a defensive team, and I know this is a team that made the Final Four, and I think they made the championship game as well, but like an elite defensive team that wasn't the best offensively is that Texas Tech squad that made it. Even though they were pretty solid offensively, their defense was the reason that they made it that far.
It's Texas Tech is a good example. San Diego State last year, I think, is a good example. They
Virginia
had one dude.
In years past.
The Virginia team that won the championship was much better offensively and actually took a slight step back defensively. Like still good defensively.
Yes.
Villanova in 2018, was okay enough defensively, but really good offensively. So yes, there's a path for Nebraska to make that work, but let's take their best defensive performance of the year. By the numbers, it's Kansas State.
Yeah.
You only allow 46 points. Kansas State shoots sub 30% from the floor. Nebraska's defense was just okay. It was fine. The rebounding was great. They limited Kansas State to one shot, but it's not like Nebraska was stealing candy from a baby, taking Kansas State's cookies or anything. They weren't locking up, forcing a whole bunch of tough shots. Kansas State still got some okay looks and just missed them. So credit Nebraska for cleaning up the glass, but despite only giving up 46 points, I don't think that was an elite defensive performance.
I think that goes to show, like, I go back to the Creighton game, right? And going into it, and this is just Nebraska basketball in general, like, they're not going to be able to shoot the lights out of a building and allow 80 points and say, yeah, you know what? We feel good about our chances to win. They need to be holding teams in the Big Ten Conference, in my mind, Austin and Rico, like 55 points. Like, I feel like it feels like that 60-point mark is where Nebraska can get to somewhat consistently.
I'll give this team credit for 65.
There was a stretch last year. I think we looked it up last year where it was if they allowed a team over 64 points, they lost the game. But if it was 64 and under, they were winning games.
The magic number for Nebraska's offense is 70.
Yeah.
If they get to 70 points, they should feel really good about every game. Anywhere between 60 and 70, it depends on the night. I don't think Nebraska is so good to win like a 59-58 game consistently. I don't think they can win 85-83 games consistently. They'll get in a couple of both of those games, and I'm curious to see how they go. But to me, Nebraska needs to win a lot of games like 71 to like 63.
Yeah. Or the 83-75 type of games every now and then, right? I just think like Nebraska, they're not going to shoot the lights out. We saw this against Creighton, right? You can't have, and especially as we go into Big Ten play, you're going to have to strengthen or get stronger on the defensive end of the floor, because the defenses you're facing are also going to be better than against Stony Brook, than against Ryder or Lindenwood. And so therefore your offense that struggled in some instances against Creighton is one of them, right? I mean, they shot porous from 3-point range. It was like 2 of 22, I believe, if I remember correctly. And Rink Mass was one of them that hit the 3. So it was Rink Mass and Keisei Tominaga, if I remember correctly.
Keisei was at the end of the first half, just kind of chucked one up.
So I mean, when you look at that performance, and I hate to look too much into just one performance because it's such a small sample size, but Nebraska can't allow themselves to have this 2 of 22 slump from 3. They need to figure out other ways to become efficient offensively. And then their defense needs to pick it up a step, because in that game, their defense was not good either. Made 0 adjustments.
Bad rotation.
You guys asked the question of ceiling and floor. Floor is Creighton game, where there's not a lot of urgency on either side of the ball, right? The offense is just kind of going through the motions, not setting screens, not with any pace. And the defense was, if they were rotating at all, a beat late or a beat off. The Michigan State game, I maintain, is one of the best college basketball games I've had the pleasure of witnessing from both sides. That was high level. That was 2 veteran teams going back and forth. No team led by more than 7 or 8 points. Nebraska shot it at a good clip, rebounded it well enough. And that's what I think it's going to take, where I don't think it was necessarily a special Nebraska played out of its mind crazy performance. It was everyone connected on the same page, unlike Creighton, where you had different guys doing different things or guys not doing things. So can you have more Michigan State type performances than Creighton type performances? And here's the thing, Nebraska won't be as bad as they were against Creighton again.
No.
Can you have more Michigan State performances than Minnesota performances, I guess?
It was interesting because I remember walking around pregame with you, and we were both there's just not a lot of energy from either side, from Creighton or from Nebraska. Well, then Creighton, when you see a couple threes hit and you start lights out with Ashworth, and then you also have Baylor Shireman in a not revenge game, but it always feels like he's got an extra chip on his shoulder.
Kalkbrenner dunker too.
Yeah,
I mean, when a dude's able to walk into 2 threes, you're going to start catching fire.
Right. So nonetheless, there just wasn't a whole lot of energy. That's something that you can control. And as Fred Hoiberg's talked about, he said it prior to that Creighton game also, where it was we need to get our defensive intensity back. And we haven't had that. And I still think there's still room for improvement from tonight's game at South Carolina State and going forward into Big Ten conference play, because the opportunities you are not going to be able to sit back here in March during the Big Ten basketball tournament and say, yeah, you know what? Nebraska just didn't have opportunities. No, that's not the case. They have plenty of opportunities to do something here throughout the Big Ten conference slate. So
kind of going back to something that Austin said about, the lack of a rim protector, and, it's not like they're taking people's cookies. I don't think Nebraska's going to have that at all this season. They're not. I don't think anybody on this team is going to develop into an elite rim protector, or even a solid rim protector. You're going to have guys block a couple shots here and there, but you're not going to have that guy who people are scared to drive against. You just don't have that on your team. And in terms of taking people's cookies and stealing the ball, Nebraska is not going to be able to steal many off of the dribble from people. But passing lanes is where they're going to excel, especially with a guy like Sam Hoiberg.
So long.
Yeah, especially with a guy like Sam Hoiberg, who just is an energizer bunny. Josiah Alec, with his length, being able to just kind of tip the ball away when they're trying to go down low on him. I think that's where Nebraska is going to have to live on defense, and just solid rotations, not having what you had against Creighton, where, like you said, they were just lazy or rotating in the wrong way. Your rotations need to be crisp, on point, controlling that effort that you have. And that's the way that Nebraska's defense is going to be. And then just cleaning up the boards. We were talking earlier, their rebounding is so much better than it used to be. That's going to be another strength on your defense, is that you're rotating, you're getting in people's faces. Maybe you're not blocking shots, maybe you're not getting the steals, but you're forcing up, maybe bad shots, or you're forcing them into, last second shots at the end of a shot clock, and then you're getting the board. You're not letting them get those second chance opportunities, and that's how Nebraska is going to have to live defensively.
The whole, minute on defense is pretty. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask of your defense, and you can play really strong defense for 2 possessions, if you will, 53 seconds. But if you give up a jumper, or if you give up an easy layup because you didn't cover a cut, whatever the case may be, I mean, that's demoralizing. And that's just patience by the opponent and undisciplined from you, I guess.
This is the other thing I'll say to fans too is don't put so much on one game on a game-to-game basis, right? You're going to have to ride this season out.
Yeah.
Nebraska is going to live this season on the bubble. There'll be some projections that come out, oh, why'd Nebraska fall? Wasn't that bad a loss? Or, oh, they won a game, why'd they drop? Here's the thing. Other teams are playing too. Other teams have opportunities to improve as well. Take Nebraska's resume as a whole. Don't freak out. Be excited when Nebraska's in and don't be so low like, oh, what are they doing? It's disrespectful. Of course they're going to make it when they're out. This team is going to live on the edge. It has such a thin margin for error because the three-point shooting isn't elite, because there's not that rim protector. They're going to live on the bubble all year. So just prepare yourself for it.
This could be a situation, and I haven't looked far enough ahead to where I know who their last 3 games are, but this could be a situation where it's like, hey, we need everybody at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You can
Michigan. Okay, so the last 6 games, 3 home, 3 road.
Okay,
you alternate. You go home against Penn State at Indiana, home against Minnesota at Ohio State, home against Rutgers on Sunday, March 3rd, at Michigan Sunday, March 10th.
See, so those home games are going to be ones that you cannot lose. You can't lose to the middle of the road Big Ten teams and expect to still be given the benefit of the doubt against other bubble teams. So that's something that Nebraska is going to have to focus on as we go forward. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman, Rico with you guys. We'll get you ready for On the Block with Strick and Austin in just a few moments right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale. Sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends, right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Look at him and tell me there's a God.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
He made me in his own image.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final time in 2023 from the Happy Hour, Nick Sainert, Rico, Austin Orman now sticking around with us as we get ready for On the Block. Bach is filling in for Strick today, so that means Austin and Bach will be on the block.
And postgame.
And postgame tonight.
Look at that.
How about that? Well, guys, update from bowl games. Obviously, there was a good slate yesterday. Arizona defeated Oklahoma.
That game was electric.
How about this? Today in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Clemson was down 21-10. Yes, 21-10 to Kentucky. Clemson is now leading 27-21. They must have just scored a touchdown potentially. Yep, touchdown. 29-yard touchdown for the Tigers. Then they made the 2-point conversion as well. And so they now lead 27-21 over the Kentucky Wildcats. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remain in that one. In other games,
Kentucky had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
That's right. In other news, Notre Dame is currently beating Oregon State 7-0 in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That game is on CBS. Obviously, in that one, you have no DJ Uiagalelei, no Aiden Childs. So it's the third-string quarterback.
No Jonathan Smith either.
Yeah, no Jonathan Smith.
That's
so it's
the
third-string quarterback for Oregon State. For Notre Dame, you don't have Audric Estime, their starting running back. You don't have your starting quarterback, Sam Hartman.
He's on the sideline, though.
Yeah.
Looking like a man. That beard, he has a majestic beard hair combo. It looks good.
Okay.
Is he touchdown Jesus?
He kind of looks like it.
That's what I'm asking.
A little bit.
Fits in well.
Touchdown Jesus would have played though.
Fits in well. So Notre Dame leads 7-0 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. The games to come tonight. Memphis and Iowa State play in the Liberty Bowl. That's at 2:30 p.m. And then the big one, the granddaddy of them all, not really, the Cotton Bowl between number 9 Missouri and number 7 Ohio State.
That game is
what's the line on that one?
I think it's Ohio State by 2.5.
No. It went up.
Ohio State by
6.5.
5.
No, it went down. It was 6.5 this morning.
Tigers.
Oh, you're saying
Tigers.
take the Tigers.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I was going to say, no, that's the line.
No, that is.
Ohio,
like I'm looking at it.
Ohio State is the line. I would 100% agree.
Take Missouri.
I think Tigers money line.
Well, there's no McCord. There's no Marvin Harrison Jr. There's debating on. They said warm-ups is going to be how they determine if 2 of their big defensive linemen go. A bunch of other guys are out, and Missouri's just like, let's do. What's Elijah Drinkowitz's accent again? I can't do it, but
he's got that kind of like
southern stuff.
Well, it's like Northern Mountains.
Yeah,
northern side of the South, sort of.
Yeah,
like he should be from West Virginia.
Cody Schrader.
We
have not talked enough about that.
Cody Schrader's legit. He's got 13 touchdowns this season, I believe, if I remember correctly. A little over close to 1,500 rushing yards on 200 attempts.
He's 5'9". I forgot that.
5'9", 214. Yeah,
averaging 6 yards a carry.
That, my
just
friends,
a bowling ball.
Is a muscle hamster. Remember the muscle hamster?
Doug Martin. Muscle hamster.
He hated that nickname.
A big bowling ball. Cody Schrader.
That is a great nickname. The muscle hamster.
I said this earlier this morning. Like, this is an opportunity for Missouri to really have themselves in the conversation of SEC football. I think still they're viewed as kind of an outlier in the SEC. Delco Dave! Woo! There he is. But not anyway. By the way, shout out Delco Daves.
But not shout out to the Eagles.
Not shout out to the Eagles. But you look at like SEC football, you have 2 storied programs in Oklahoma and Texas coming into the conference next year. Similar to the Big Ten Conference and how we talk about Nebraska, Missouri's in that same situation here now. Like, yes, they're a top 10 team with the expanded playoff, with obviously 2 new schools coming to the conference. They got to figure out a way to stay above in like the top third of the conversation in the SEC.
Missouri went to the SEC in 2013.
Same time Nebraska went to the Big Ten.
2012.
couple
2012. Okay.
Was it?
They went 5-7 their first year in the SEC.
Nebraska went in 2011, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the year after.
Yeah.
Missouri went 12-2, 11-3, 5-7, 4-8, 7-6, 8-5, 6-6, 5-5, 6-7, 6-7 with 2 bowl games the last 2 years, but lost them. So 6-6 the last 2 years. Now 10-2.
Which is
Strick and I were talking yesterday about, if Northwestern can go 8-5 under these circumstances, if Kansas State and Kansas can go 8-5, 8-9-4, why not Nebraska? To me, why can't Nebraska be Missouri? Right? Yeah. I don't think you want to get down to, clinging to bowl eligibility a couple times like Missouri has. But I wouldn't be shocked if Nebraska's arc in the new Big Ten is kind of like Missouri's in the SEC, where you'll pop up to double-digit wins once or twice a decade. Other than that, you're shooting for, upper mid-tier.
Yeah, I don't want to be the worst, but I'm not going to be the best.
Right. Just don't be forgotten about. Right. Don't find a way. Don't allow yourself to slip into where they can talk about the Big Ten Conference without talking about you.
You want to be that team that even if you're not going to beat I was just go with Nebraska, even if you're not going to beat Ohio State or Michigan or Penn State, you don't want to be the team that they're like, oh, easy win. You want it to be like, oh, wait a minute, we have to go to Nebraska, we have to play Nebraska. Like, we got to sit up a little bit in our chairs with this one.
I think the best way to put that, using that analogy, you might not beat the Ohio States, the Michigans, but you're consistently beating the Northwesterns, the Purdues, the Illinois, the those types of programs, the Rutgers, the Marylands, those types of programs. You're consistently beating those teams to where you're not allowing yourself to be in their conversation, but you're also not able to. Think about what we're saying. Like, it's okay to lose a couple games. Like, that's not what we're trying to say, but being realistic with ourselves is that if you're not consistently beating Ohio State, that's okay as long as you're consistently beating the Maryland, the Rutgers, the Northwesterns.
The simple way to say it, it's going to piss some Nebraska fans off, is you want to be Iowa.
So yeah, I suppose so. Maybe. I think
NC State.
So. Yeah, NC State's good. Yeah.
Love NC State.
Kansas State.
Yeah. Can you beat Arizona?
Oh yeah. You can beat Arizona.
Nick wishes.
Jed
Okay.
Fish.
Was last night more on Arizona being good or Oklahoma being bad?
Yes.
I think. Explain that, because
Thank you.
I'm curious.
It's Rico saying push.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Seriously, no. I would put it more on Arizona because I think there were some good things from like Jackson Arnold. There were some good things. There were some bad situational awareness throws. Obviously
stopping running the ball.
The 3 interceptions. Like Sawchuk was really good. Sawchuk was really, really good out of the backfield for Oklahoma. I thought that Noah Fafita didn't have his best game, but he played well enough to win. He's also that their wide receiver that I'm blanking on the name, number 4.
Jacob Cowing.
Yes, thank you. Very, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the defense, though, stood up. Like, yeah, there were some interceptions, right? But they also forced fumbles. They were punching at it. And so I view that as that's Arizona, and that's Jed Fish. The 1-11 turnaround to 2 years later being 10-3 is impressive, and that's on Arizona.
I put it on Oklahoma because you had the opportunities, you had things that were working for you, and you decided to step away from those, maybe because you wanted to show how good Jackson Arnold is, where you had your running game going, and even if it wasn't going that well, it was still working for you, and you decided to step away from it. And again, that is kind of on Arizona
there was
for
quarterback
doing
run
things.
game elements, though, in the first half and in the second half, though.
But
Like Arnold
they
was using his legs, but then once you're down 35-21 or whatever the case is, then yeah, like you're going to have to kind of abandon some of the quarterback run at
But
some
you get
point.
down 35-21 because you're throwing interceptions, because you decide to get away from the run game.
I understand.
And then
that.
Arizona's stuffing footballs on swords.
Yeah.
6 of them. First of all, dope sword. Second of all, what a waste of footballs.
Yeah, I can't imagine that the NCAA is okay with that.
Yeah.
Because
Although, I love it.
So here's my question though. Were those Oklahoma footballs or Arizona footballs? Because if it's
they
the
were
one you intercepted, it's an Oklahoma football. You just punctured 6 of their footballs.
Do you think Arizona then has to pay them for the football? If it's Oklahoma,
Oklahoma footballs,
obviously, yeah.
I assume we have to pay them back. But if it's like Arizona footballs that are like out of commission and you're stabbing your own footballs, like that's one thing. But if they're Oklahoma game balls, you're just
It
definitely
definitely is, because they're turnovers. Like, you're not giving it back and then grabbing a different football. You intercepted or you get the fumble. You're running back because you know you have the turnover sword. You're running it back and you're stabbing it on the sword.
But
Those are
there's the Oklahoma ball boy on that sideline too. So maybe
you're not handing that ball off to the ball boy and grabbing a different one.
But you have to, so you don't have to pay for a football.
The university eats that because it's cool.
Think about the trophy case from every single game of just deflated footballs.
Have they done that all season?
Well, yeah, it's a turnover sword.
I feel like I would have heard about this.
This is like some sort of like medieval conquest stuff.
But they had 6 last night. That's why we're hearing all about it. If they
but
had
for
one.
a road game, you stick the sword in the ground and the footballs are on it, like the
and you
the
leave
head.
it.
Yeah, you leave
And
it.
you leave it.
Baker
Just a
Mayfield
new sword
he
every
thought
day.
he did it best with a flag in the middle of the field.
Yes.
Arizona one upped him with
The
the sword.
with 6 footballs, and you just walk out.
Yeah. Austin, what's coming up on the show?
It's going to be a good show. We're just going to have 2 hours of South Carolina State pregame.
There you go. Perfect. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
we're not going to do that. We will talk some Nebraska men's basketball, kind of go with the tournament projections from different places. What are the odds they make, and what are the most important games this upcoming conference season for those chances? New Year's 6 bowl game preview. Hour 1, those biggest sports moments of the year. Just going to hop in the way back machine. The biggest moments, the biggest stories, but then also the biggest accomplishments. Each of those will be a segment.
There you go. Don't go anywhere. On the block with Strick and Bach.
Yes.
Not Strick and Bach. Austin and Bach. Goodness sakes. With Austin and Bach is coming up next. For us here on the Happy Hour, Happy New Year. 2023 is come and gone.
Yes.
We'll see you in 2024.
Thank you all for a wonderful 2023. Let's do it all again. Adios.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift with